Konstantin is joining us. There we go. Here it is. And I will just put that one as the main. I will spotlight for everyone, that particular one. So you can see my sheet here, hopefully. The black one.
Yes,
And then Katya already has that beautiful cat of hers.
And it's even trying to draw already. You see?
Yes, it does. That is just awesome. I purposefully put my cat away. So in the email that I sent you, there was a picture of my cat over here. So it's not the best photo and anything like that. So, but it's just a really good reference. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I want the cat just looking up in there. So because it's something that we are not used to. So yeah, I was thinking that, yeah, why not? All right, Katie, please make sure that at least you have a yes, thank you so much, an image of yourself. So in case you can just gesture to us, because for some reason I can't hear the sound from you. You're the only one. I don't know what's going on. So and that's what was the problem on my side actually. So in any case, let's just go ahead. Let's just start. My settings, but didn't want to be on the camera. That's all right. That's all right. That's the reason why. Okay, I see. Don't you worry. All right, so let's go ahead. So if my paper all of a sudden just disappears, so for instance, I push it aside, so you just let me know, okay? I do have over here sort of like, what is it? The marks where it should be kept just in case, but yeah, here it is. So the photo that I sent you, it should look like something like this one, yeah? With my Rishi. So we're not going to draw, obviously, him. So let's just pretend that he is a black cat on the black background. And then there is just a little bit of the light that's coming from above and sort of like from that side as well, from the right as well. Sort of like the same one that he has at the moment, but let's just imagine that it's a very pale light. So that means that we are not going to see a lot of him. Try to imagine he's sort of like in the shadow and there is just a little bit of the light is coming to him. So, which means that we will see the outlines of his head and then just a little bit of the outlines on of his body basically. And obviously his paws a little bit. And then on the photo, he has his tail just going to the side. So we will just push that tail to so that it's all there. I do have a question. A question for you? What would you like? We can have two pictures at the moment. So two types of the cat. So it could be just his head that is over here. And then, so that's the main focus and just a little bit of him in here. So just a little bit of his neck basically in there. So, or it could be the whole cat. What would you like?
I think the head could be quite nice. At least then we can focus on those elements and pulling it forward. But I'm happy to go.
Okay, the whole cat, yeah?
Or the head.
Katya, what do you think?
I think
fine.
Sorry, yeah. For me, first option looks more maybe creative, more interesting, I would say.
You mean the whole cat, yeah?
No. Part of it.
Part of it is the head.
Head and the neck, yeah, something like go into the dark.
So we are mostly like the portrait itself, yeah? All right, Konstantin, what about you? What do you think? Oh, we can't hear you for some reason as well. What's going on? I don't know. Like I can hear Katya, I can hear Emma, but for some reason Kaylee and Konstantin are just okay. Konstantin, could you please send the message? Just the chat into the chat. What would you prefer, a head or a whole body? I'm thinking about actually maybe the whole body just in case, because so Konstantin says vote for face. All right, then Kelly doesn't mind either. So I'm a little bit more inclined towards the whole body. And then if you want to, a little bit later, you can focus on the head as well. So, and then Katya is more for the face, and Konstantin is more for the face, and is a little bit more for, towards the whole body as well. So we are sort of like equally spread, yeah? Kelly, you have to vote. Face on the whole body. You have to make up your mind. Face, please. All right, that's that's interesting. Okay. So here we are. Now, so take a look. Then in that particular case, I will just use a slightly smaller paper at the moment, okay? So that we can see what goes on in there. So basically, that's the paper that you have. Actually, I will use even part of it. So that you know like what kind of what kind of like what do we have in here? So basically speaking, you can very easily divide your paper into two halves, and then over here there's the half. Though we did talk a little bit more about the rule of thirds here. So then the first is just a little bit more than that half. So just a moment, I was just trying to make sense of it all. All right, so here we are. Now, when it comes to the face itself, basically it's just the really big circle in there, yeah, isn't it? So for instance, when it comes to the body, just in case, so especially when there is a sitting cat over there, so basically it would have gone like the whole body is there. Then you had the neck, and then you had the neck connected to it. And then afterwards, it's just a matter of just connecting all of those lines, and then you have the whole cat basically in there. So for instance, that one is his paws, and then the tail would have been something like that, yeah. And obviously the ears have been there. So just a very quick picture, but you get the idea, yeah. I think I will just I'll just zoom in just in case. So that is just me trying to get a sense of it all. Okay, now, if we really do want to focus on the head itself, now what would we do? In that particular case, we really want to focus on the eye, yeah, don't we? So then the eye, it's a really good idea to place the eye somewhere on one of the thirds. And most likely, since we really want to focus on the head, it's going to be, at least using that picture. Hopefully you have, or you all have a picture in front of you as well, yeah? That's what, oh, that's good. So basically the eye, it's a really good idea to place that one on one of the thirds and somewhere over here. Then it really is going to be the focus of it all, yeah? And then in that particular case, you will have his head. Feel free to change a couple of faces, but basically this is where his head is going to be, yeah? So one of the thirds, but it's going to be slightly to the right. So at the moment, what you can do is just to make up like where it's going to be. And then just in case, you can move a couple of things around. So basically that one is just one big circle. And then afterwards you have his nose and then his jaw, sort of like protruding from the main face in there. Yeah. So, and then his ears are going to be in here somewhere. And then another ear. So at the moment, it's just a very rough picture, but sort of like it makes sense from the point of placement. And then afterwards, this is where the rest of him he will be, yeah? So you got an approximate idea. Now I'll do the same thing for my main picture. The moment, zoom out, here we are, here it is, here it is. Okay, approximately dividing the paper into thirds. And yeah, let me know once you're finished with that particular task. just make some kind of a sign or raise your hand. It's yeah, Zoom allows you to an actual feature of raising the hand, and then I can see you all. Okay, all good? All right, can I see your pictures, please? You can just show it to me. So, Katie, you have to, yeah. Katya?
I can't. She's still here. And I'm sorry, I can't disturb her. She's helping me. Oh no, she's not anymore.
That's all right, don't you worry. Kelly, you have to make sure that the blue is no longer there. Just a moment. Give me some time. Oh, Katya, good. Just a little bit further from the camera, please. Oh, it's not bad. Well done. Good job. Oh, Emma, that's good. Well done. Kelly, it still gets blurred. So you have to make sure that in the settings you have that the blurring of the background they're cancelled. I know that most of the time it works, but not for that particular case. Konstantin, we can't see you. Could you please make sure that the camera is there?
Yeah, but not completed.
You have decided to use this part of the picture.
Yeah. Should I use the whole pictures, right?
Yeah, why not? Yes. I mean, it's up to you. If you want, you can have just half of it, and then after you can make a bigger picture afterwards. It doesn't really matter.
Yes, I think it will be easier for me to use only the part.
So take a look. I really love your nose, and I really. Oh, Kelly is here. Okay, just a moment, Kelly, my love. Kelly, can we hear you?
I doubt it.
Oh, yes, we can.
Can you? Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Thank you. So now you have to make sure that that background is no.
Yeah, the blur. Oh, just trying to figure it out.
Yes, it's somewhere in the settings, I think. I don't remember where exactly, but it's somewhere in the settings. Because every time when you try to show us the picture, it just gets blurred. So which is not the right thing to do. Konstantin, so take a look about you. So that main head is there, yes, and it is a circle, definitely. And you have the his jaw, which is very nicely done. So the only thing that the placement of the eye, your eye is somewhere in the middle, it should be a little bit closer to the top of it. And we really want to place that eye on one of the thirds. All right?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Got it? Okay, that's lovely. All right. Okay, yes, it is there. I think you need to increase the size of him a little bit. Yes. That's the reason why I'm starting with really rough shapes, because yeah, we don't want to spend a lot of time and then afterwards you're just making sure, then afterwards realizing, oh, I should have moved the whole picture to the right, I should have moved the whole picture to the a little bit further down to the bottom or whatever it is. Yeah, so just make sure it's all there, and once you're ready, Katie, can I see yours one more time? Oh, you have a really big picture in there. Ah, you're using part of it as well. Yeah, onto you. That's good.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. What did you ask?
So you're using, what is it, A2 picture?
Yeah.
Wow,
But I'm not gonna draw the whole field. It's just a half of it. I will
Half
cut it
of it.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then that's all good. Then it all looks good. Yeah, well done. You have purposefully placed part of the picture for the cat to be around. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Now, Emma, can I see yours for a while as well, just in case? That's all right. Emma, the only thing that your jaw is a little bit too tight in here, too narrow in there, so it looks more like, or Konstantin, well done. So yeah, yours looks more like a rat or something like that. So make sure it looks like a cat. So yeah, just make sure that there is that big circle over there that is a part of him. And then only afterwards, after that circle, you just draw sort of like a protruding jaw a little bit. Because cats, generally speaking, they don't have that much of a, what is it, snout and jaw protruding from that main circle of the head. They are much closer to us than, for instance, the dogs are, because dogs, it depends on, obviously, I was going to say the make, sorry, the breed, the breed of the dog, but generally speaking, yeah, they do have, generally speaking, they do have sometimes, yeah, similar faces to cats, because cats are more, what is it? The human did have a lot of breeds for the dogs, because obviously dogs are something that we are the creatures that we use very often for our domestic chores, yeah, while the cats are less of a breed that humans didn't have that much of an impact on the cats themselves. So even if you take the tiger, it still has exactly the same shape of like a really wild cat. Yeah, it has exactly the same shape as the domestic cat, only just bigger. So okay, so here it is. Once we are there, the only thing that is left for us is just to have a little bit of the body of him, yeah, which will go sort of like to the side. It could change, so be flexible about it. So it could go a little bit further, a little bit closer to that side, so hopefully you can see my image as well. And then afterwards here, that back over here just goes a little bit further out of that circle, and then afterwards we have a little bit of a bend over here, and then here is his neck, and then we'll go to its body. Yeah, and again, we're just not that much interested in what goes on underneath it all. All right, now the placement of the ears. So take a look at the photo one more time, and then you can see that his eye is going to be somewhere over here. That's how we started placement of the whole cat in there. And then so take a look, that ear that is closer to us, it starts approximately to the bottom of its eye in here. So if you do the horizon line over here, this is exactly where that ear will start. So see the bottom of the eye, and here it is. If you take a look at the picture, that's exactly what it says in there. And then it goes to the side over here. On the other hand, you can be flexible, because obviously the ears of the cat, they're very flexible. They can bend to the sides, to whatever you you want them to actually to be truthful. And then, unlike our ears don't bend at all. Not counting those very rare people that could bend their ears, yeah. So most of us that can't move our ears at all. So, and the cats definitely can. So that's the big difference between us and cats, yeah. One of the differences, obviously. One of the many differences. Okay, so here we are. That's the ear of the cat, approximately again, yeah. And then obviously, since the light is really coming from above and from the right side, this is where you will see a lot of light in here, yeah? So just to make sense of it all, you can already apply a few strokes to it. Just so it gives you an idea. And let's put another ear as well. Now that next ear, so again, in comparison to its eye, so what goes on in here? If you make a horizon line on that, that's approximately the beginning of that other ear that is in there. So here we are, and then it goes horizontally, and then it goes vertically in there to the angle. And again, here we are approximately, and you will see lots and lots of fur in that ear. So approximately there. And then we can walk on the actual shape of his head as well. So it's not going to be that round. So for instance, that line over here, it's more, it has more like a line to it. Then afterwards, just above his eye, we will have a little bit more like a bump over there, and then it goes to the, we have another line going slightly to the angle down, yeah? And then we have his nose. Now on the picture, it actually goes up, but feel free to change that one. For instance, see in my picture over here, so I'm thinking about moving it a little bit more like on the same level as his that high point over here. So feel free to change. That's the beauty of drawing animals, because we can change it a little bit if you want to. So here we are. Then afterwards we have his nose over here. I can just put a little bit more light to it, because obviously nose is going to be very lit up. And then afterwards we have his jaw over here. Now the jaw is separated by two parts. Over here I have seen already that you all have that jaw in there. So just make sure that you draw a little bit of a line over there, separating the top part of the jaw and then the bottom part of the jaw as well. Here we are. And then afterwards, here is the line, and then this is where his neck starts. All right, so far so good? That's good. All right. So here we are. Then afterwards, let's start drawing his eye, because this is obviously where we will spend a lot of time making sure that it's all just absolutely perfect, yeah? And exactly how we see it. Now, what goes on in here? So we can see, just basically use that image that I sent you, because it's all there. Zoom in on his eye, and then we already have the placement of an eye, and just make sure that it's sort of there. Now, first of all, we are just drawing outlines in it, of it. Okay, and once you're finished, I really want to see some of your pictures. And just to make sure it's all there. Who wants to be the first? Who is finished? Katya, well done. Just a moment. Give me some time. It's all good. Katya, well done. Konstantin is showing us the picture. All right, Konstantin, so take a look. The thing that I'm missing at the moment. Could you show me the picture one more time? Konstantin, so take a look. The thing that is there, so your line is a little bit, so that top of his hat is a little bit too horizontal at the moment. So I can't see its connection. So like sort of like it needs to make an arc and making sure that it goes to over here to the side of him. So it makes up sort of like a circle. It's almost like, what is the term? I mean, in Russian, that one's called касательная to the circle that we have. I think it's called tangent to the circle in there. So that line is has a 90-degree angle with the yes, you go. So yeah, here it is. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right, that's much better. Emma, Kelly. Oh, Kelly, that's perfect. That's really good. Well done. Emma. All right.
It still looks mousy. I'm trying.
All right, so take a look what you need to do. You just need to make sure, I like the top of it, top of the cat. So it's just the bottom part. So take a look. It's almost like you have the line going to that side over here. So hopefully you can see it. So make it a little bit wider. So make the jaw a little bit wider. So instead of going right way over here, so make sure that it's almost like a 90-degree angle over here, because at the moment it goes sort of like to that side. So yeah, make it wider so it's 90-degree angle. And then afterwards, just have a little bit more of a space and then go to the side afterwards.
Yeah, it's
So
the bottom of his chin. You need to get the round in there.
Yes, it's a little bit like, oh, it's been on the
his cheeks aren't there.
Yes. So make him thicker, because the top of it is really, really nicely done. It's just the bottom of it.
Thank you.
And this is the moment when I told you many, many times to step back and make sure that it's all just sort of like looks normal. Do you remember? Kelly, Katya, Konstantin, all is good. Emma. So just make sure that, yeah, the bottom of him is a little bit more wider, because we don't want to draw the red, at least not at the moment. A little bit later, maybe. Some of you have seen the picture that I have downstairs of, actually, I do have quite a lot of rats. That's been dead, actually. Dead rats that are there. For instance, yeah, you have seen that I have an, some of you have seen that I have an owl catching the rat. It has dead rat like in his clothes. And also I have a cat and has a dead rat as well. So Katya, I think Alisa is the one who's chilling, because I didn't want to focus too much on the rat, and she always says that it's potato instead of the rat.
Yeah.
Yes.
She shared it.
Yes.
And you remember I was.
Yeah, but generally speaking,
Was
I'm not a particularly fond of rats. Yeah. Mice are much more nice. Yeah. I think I have, or I used to have, I don't know what has happened to that picture. I used to have a drawing of a rat, not of rat, sorry, of a mouse. And mice, generally speaking, they do have sort of like much smaller jaws than the rats do. So they're much more cuter when you look at them. Even though generally speaking, mice and rats, yeah, not that pleasant to look at, but yeah, at least to me, I don't know. So everyone has different opinions, but I'm not particularly fond of rats, but I do like mice actually. They're much more cute. All right, so here we are. Emma, can I see your correction, please? You're still not sure about it.
I started again and now I'm a little bit like, oh no, I feel like I've messed up the jaw.
No, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. So
It
like I
still
told
looks
you, sir, no, it already looks better. It looks like Siamese cat, that matter, because Siamese cats, they do have much narrower jaw than the majority of the cats. That's all good. So take a look. In comparison, again, you can continue with what you have at the moment because it definitely doesn't look like a rat anymore. So which is much nicer. Well done, sir. At the moment, you still have that too much of a narrow angle over here. The majority of the cats, they do have almost like 90 degrees over here between the end of his jaw and then that snout over here. Yours looks a little bit more narrower than 90 degrees angle, and that's the reason why you. But on that hand, like I told you, Emma, so that still looks all right. So don't worry too much about it. No, it's still going to be Rishi, but on the other hand, we're not going to draw Rishi in any case of my cat stuff because we're going to turn him into black. All right, I guess let's carry on. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now this is where we can go into more details. All right, now what we will see, obviously we'll have, so let's just imagine that we don't have that much of a light that we have on the photo itself. We just have a little bit of a light here coming from above, and so we don't want to pay too much attention to what goes on with the fur, but obviously we'll see a little bit of outlines of the cat. And what else do we see? We'll have, because the eyes of the cat, even in the dark ones, you look at them, they just shine, yeah? So obviously we see the eyes, and this is where our focus is going to be on the eyes of the cat. You will see a lot of his whiskers because those are the ones that are shining. They will catch the light no matter what's going on, no matter how much of the light we'll have, even if it's a dim light. And we'll see his whiskers, and then those ones that go just above the head. I don't know whether they're whiskers as well. I guess they are. Yeah. Emma, what do you think?
Yeah.
They call
Eyebrows.
the ones that are sort of like eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. Like antennae.
Yeah, so there it goes. But they do look like whiskers, so they are made of the same not fabric. What oh, I'm terrible when casted words. Of the same chemicals, and basically they do have the same reflective surface, yeah? So
Yeah.
obviously you'll see lots and lots of light reflected from them, yeah? And that's the beauty of us drawing with the white pencil, because this is where we imagine yourself that we are the light, yeah? And we just shine on whatever's going on whatever is reflecting the light. Okay, so let's leave the eyes for the for later, and let's just go ahead with whatever's going on the rest of the cat. Yeah. Now, obviously, we'll see highlighted that part of the jaw here, and let's just imagine that he has a little bit of white on his upper jaw, like my cat does. And you just drawing the same strokes as the fur would have. And over here you will have some fur as well at the bottom at his bottom jaw. Basically, you're using, sorry, I'll just zoom in over here. So you're using that line over here, and you just adding some strokes going in the same direction, like exactly like on the photo. Now, my cat doesn't have that long fur. So he has sort of like a short fur in comparison to the other cats. So feel free to change him. So if you want a longer fur, then obviously you will have much longer strokes in here. So if you have a shorter fur, then feel free to change that one to the one that we have on the porch as well. Up to you. So feel free to change a couple of things. And again, we do have a choice over here. A lot of even black cats, they do have a little bit of a white fur as well. Most of the time, once they do have white, it's actually surprisingly, from my experience, at least from the cats that I have seen, it is surprisingly on that neck that they have, just below their jaw. So if you feel like it, you can do sort of like similar to my cat. So he has a little bit of white over here, almost like the scarf that he has, like a scarf that he has over here. So if you feel like it here, you can draw a little bit of the fur in here, and then it will be much, much, much whiter on that particular side. Again, just add a couple of strokes in there. Just shade that part, almost like a triangle that you have in here. Again, it could go further, it could be a little bit more narrower. It doesn't really matter that much. So for instance, I have decided to go with slightly longer fur that my cat does. My cat has, sorry. And then here it is. So approximately it is there. It really resembles the cat, doesn't it? Hopefully yours does too. All right, now what we'll see on the back of his hat. So this is where it's a really good idea to have an eraser, because we know, since the light has that bending properties to it. So we will see a little bit of the outline of his back. Besides, it's a really good idea to just have it, because then we can predict that, okay, there's the cat that we see, and that's the bottom width. So most likely the light actually will bend around the cat, and then we'll see the outline over here, but we're not going to see a lot of the strokes in there. So it's a really good idea if you have some thick lines in there to just erase them a little bit. But so you have a little bit of outlines, it gives you guidance. And then after, it's just much fewer strokes that you used on the other side, just to give an idea. Okay, there's going to be the back of his hat, but we are not going to see too many strokes in there. Just a few. Sort of like that. And if it feels like it's a little bit too much, you can use either the tissue or just even your finger, and then just sort of like blend it in. So it's not as obvious as the one that we have on the other side, because this is where the light will be on. So it's going to be much lighter. All right. So here it is. Basically, the bottom of him is already done. That's the beauty of drawing black cats or black dogs on the black background, because they will not have too many details. They're going to be black on black. So, and we're just drawing the light as reflecting from their fur. And if it's a dim light, then we'll not have that much of a reflection in there. Okay, can I see your pictures, please? Okay, that's beautiful. Well done. Really, really well done. Oh, Konstantin, that was really good as well. Well done. Good job. Good job. Probably just try to make it a little bit softer on that side over here. right, on that side that is not on the light. So because it's going to be just a little bit more. So you can have a
got
little
it.
bit of trace in there, or just have a tissue and then just put it on, and we'll take a little bit of a pencil.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
All right. Katya, Emma. Sorry, Katya, you've been showing me, but I got distracted. All right. Okay, Katya, in your case, it's just a little bit too much of like particular the bottom have a little bit more of a fur in there. So because at the moment you do have what is it, too strict of the lines.
Yeah,
So they need
yeah. That is
to
what I
little
see from your picture. You have a messy and kind of natural fur. And
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
precisely what we
yeah.
have. Even if it's
Yeah.
a short fur, for instance, as you can see on Riji, we still have a lot of like his fur protruding, and he has, generally speaking, he has a short hair.
Yep.
Almost like a rabbit, or yeah. So the majority of the cats, especially those domestic cats, because generally speaking, we do have fluffy domestic cats, so they will have much longer fur. He really does feel like a rabbit, doesn't he? All right, Emma, can I see yours as well? Sorry.
What a surprise. The nose is still missing because I'm reworking it.
That's right. Oh, actually, but the fur itself is really nicely done. Good job.
Like, don't look at that part.
That's okay. So, Emma, the only thing that you will not see a lot of that line over
Yeah.
here because it's going to be in the shadow.
Yes. Yeah. That
All
was
right.
just my
At the moment, yes, I do have that one in here, but it's going to disappear a little bit later. We'll see the fur that is going to be over here, just below his ear, but we'll not see that fur that goes on. Maybe just a little bit of a fur once it goes to the neck, but definitely not that part of the cheek because it's going to be in the shadow. All right. So just erase that part because otherwise it's going to be, and I will do the same. I will just erase that part that we put over here from our circle because it's not going to be visible. All right, that's all good. All right, let's continue. Now, I guess let's go to his nose because you all have it. All right, and let's put more details into his nose because obviously the nose is something that gets us really excited. Now, here we are. What do we have? We have a rounded, so like snout in there, yeah. And then afterwards, the nose, since it's just much closer to the light, it will catch a lot of light in any case. Besides, most of the time, if the cat is healthy, it will have that wet nose, and obviously that wet surface will reflect a lot of light. Yeah. And we want a healthy cat. If the cat is really nervous, this is where his nose usually becomes much darker, pinker as well. So like it will have more reddish color, and also it will have it will be dry. So this is where it will reflect less light. So we want a healthy cat, so it's going to be very curious about like what goes on the top, and then it feels very safe at the same time. So which means that it will have that reflective surface in any case. Now, and obviously we do have his nostrils as well, same as with us. And then with nostrils, you have a little bit more of a black just underneath. So here we are. Just look at the picture, it's all in there in any case. Look at the photo. Here we are. And then we'll have a little bit of a fur just underneath. So we sort of like have that nostril in here, or at least some kind, like that's something that resembles the nostril. And then afterwards we have his nose. And no matter what kind of breed we talk about, it will have straight after the nose, it will have really short fur over here, just at the end of his nose. And then it will have really short fur over here as well, at the top of his nose. So, sort of like that. Okay, all good? So far, so good? All right, that's good. Okay, now afterwards, very often, especially on the cats, and then for that matter, dogs as well. Kelly, I'm so proud of you and that dog, though. Your bullies just turned out to be such a wonderful one.
I didn't know
Thank
I
you
could
so
do it.
So see, you can obviously. That was really, 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 really well done. Okay, now in any case, so what goes on? So dogs, and especially dogs and cats for that matter, they have much better sense of the smell to us, and obviously so that they can smell much more. That's the reason why their jaw much more protruding than our noses, for instance, yeah, because we don't rely that much on the sense of smell in comparison, obviously, to the dogs themselves, yeah. And actually, cats can sniff much more than we can as well. Though I don't know what's going on with Rishi, but it seems like my cat doesn't have that much of a sense of smell. I don't know what has happened to him, but even if you put like a piece of meat straight into his nose, straight right to his nose, I mean, yes, it just needs to be just a couple of centimeters until he can actually smell it. I don't know what has happened to him, but he's one of the kinds in a way. All right, in any case, let's just continue. So afterwards, we do have most of the time a line that is parallel to that side of over here, of the top of his nose. And then over here at the bottom of his nose, over here, we'll have the line that is parallel to that one on top. If you know what I mean. So here it is. And obviously we'll not see a lot of its lines, so we'll see just a little bit of that short fur in here. But just try to add that one. And you can see it on the photo as well. And again, if you feel like it, if it feel, for instance, in my case, it feels like it's a little bit too much of an emphasis in there, I'll just take a little bit of a color. I'm using my finger, but feel free to use the tissue or whatever you want to. Most of the time, we as artists are messy. Especially when it comes to artists, we use a lot of oil colors or oil paints or acrylic paints, or for that matter, even watercolors. Here, we do have a tendency to be a little bit more messy. All right, so here it is. That's the nose. So far, so good? Okay, let's carry on. Now, again, we do have already the outlines of his head over here on top. Obviously, it will reflect a lot of light because that's the top of his head. So, and again, we don't have the exact lines. We do have just the fur. No matter what kind of breed we talk about, in any case, so it will have very short fur. In any case, over here. And then closer to his ears, this is where it will become to whatever fur he has, generally speaking, yeah? If he has a longer fur, then it will become slightly longer, closer to his ears. If he has a shorter fur like my cat does, so it will not be that long, but it will still become longer. Just again, sort of like softening those lines and just imitating that fur that we have in here, that we have on the cat. And since that one is going to be the top of his head, we're not going to see just the outline of his fur over here. We'll see some light reflection from some of the fur that is just below that surface, yeah? So it's a really good idea to just add a couple of strokes resembling again that fur on the cat. So for instance, here we are, something like that. So far so good? Now, can I see your images, please? Okay, that's good. Well done. Thank you so much. Here it all looks very natural. Well done. Katya, Emma, Konstantin. Can I see yours, please? That's right, so you go ahead. It doesn't really matter who goes first. Okay, Katya, let me you. Sorry, Emma. All right. Okay, that's good. Katya, well done, well done, well done. I think his nose needs to be a little bit bigger, but on the other hand, let's just imagine he's a really grown-up cat, so why not? And then Katya, you still need to soften that fur at the bottom over here.
I'm working on it. For me, it seems to be like, you know, I'm trying to add more white strokes, and it's not getting whiter. Maybe it's
Have
really
more
depends.
like sort of like wider strokes in there. It should help. Just like
Okay.
so for instance, take a look. I'll just show you on the other picture. So for instance, let's just imagine that you have something similar to what you have at the moment. I'll just zoom in. So let's just imagine that you have something like that, yeah? And then afterwards, just to the edge over here, so take a look, just add wider strokes. And we'll soften that line automatically. And again, similar
Okay.
idea, just to that edge, again, just add some strokes.
Yeah.
Not too many. So see,
Thank
that
you.
looks like a
Yeah,
fur line
yeah.
right away. Okay. So Emma, you go ahead.
I'm really slow. And
That's all right, take your time, take your time.
Starts horribly, and then I just need time to. It's still.
I think that looks awesome, yeah. I was going
Your
to
cat has so much personality.
What is that face though? What is this?
Well, that's all right. Don't you worry. It's all good. So I will take a look. From what I can see, the only thing that you need to take away is just that bottom of his face, because it's going to be not in the light. So just erase whatever you have over here.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be there. It's going to be the bottom of his hat in any case, especially in your perspective, because it's a little bit, he has like a little bit more. So see, my line over here and then everybody else is actually, so it's more sort of like vertical instead of horizontal. Yours is more closer to horizontal line, so which means that it's not going to reflect, it's not going to catch a lot of light. Oh, that looks much better.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good, don't you worry. And I love your ears because they're already there. I didn't even talk about them.
I feel like my nose is too long.
No, don't worry about the nose. The nose actually looks all right. See, and then that bottom looks all right. So the only thing that you have too much of a white over here at the bottom of his jaw. Just use that bottom line that you have. That's totally fine, and just erase a little bit of that top line in there, and we'll be totally fine. Don't you worry. Again, like I told you, that's the beauty of drawing the cats in comparison to animals. And then we have to start doing portraits from animals, because then we can still have a couple of mistakes if need be. Well, so if it comes to the faces, the portraits themselves, so this is where we have to be really precise. Okay, so far so good? Konstantin, I haven't seen yours. Don't take away the camera. I know that you're shy,
but
still.
it's not complete.
Oh, no, that's really good. That's actually really good. Well done, don't you worry. the nose is definitely there. So take a look, Konstantin, the only trouble that you have over here, you have too much of an angle between his, what is it? The plane of his nose and then the plane of his sort of like, what is it? The head, basically, the forehead, yeah, that he has.
Mhm.
So you have too much of a narrow angle on here, just soften that angle in here. So take a look. In comparison, you have his nose over here, and you have too much of a like really narrow angle in here. Just soften that line and it will be absolutely fine. So instead of having just that angle over here, soften that line. So make a little bit more of a arc in there, and then it will be absolutely fine. All right. So here we are. Now let's go to his ears. Emma has already drawn actually really good ears. Kelly, your ears are totally fine as well. So now really want to focus the attention on the end of the ears, because those are the ones that will reflect a lot of light, as you can see from the photo itself as well. So just whatever you have in there. And if you have too many lines like I do at the moment as well, so just trace some of the lines that are not needed in there. In my case, it's a little bit more too much of those lines in here. And I think I will erase part of those lines as well. I will tell you a secret. So not that much of a secret, but nonetheless, so I do have a lot of commissions nowadays for the portraits of cats, and also I've started to have a lot of commissions for the portraits of kids. For instance, just recently I have drawn a couple of kids. So for instance, here is one.
Cool.
With the bananas on top. And then I had another one as well. So here's the boy as well. So, but in any case, those are just my recent one that another person will come to pick up a little bit later during the weekend. All right, in any case, but once I start drawing portraits, I most of the time do have the same ideas that we've been going with the cats. So I drew the circles and make sure that the eyes are there and then everything else. And then afterwards, I just erase it all. I just basically use the rubber and erase it all so that I have just very slight outlines. And then afterwards, I go into details. So I have just a little bit of the outlines of whatever's been going on before, because obviously I still draw those circles of the head, then like where's the nose is, where the eyes are. A little bit later, if you stay with me, we'll go into faces, portraits, and everything else. You still have to draw to go with geometric circles in there, but nonetheless, yes. Then afterwards, I just erase it all, and then afterwards, I just go into detail. So same thing goes on with the cats, for that matter as well. Exactly the same techniques. All right, so we have the outline over here. Now we'll have a little bit of the outline, maybe of that ear as well, but it's going to be very, very light in comparison. At the bottom, I mean. I think the picture that I have that is sent to you, it has too much of reflection in there. That's another thing that we have to deal with, because I mean, you have all been the witness of it. So once you take the picture of once you take the photo of your pictures, it doesn't look exactly the same, does it? Very often it does reflect some light and everything, which does need to. So my line at the bottom is actually in real life is much softer than the one that you see, I think, on the image. All right. And then afterwards, there's the outline of that ear in here. And then cats have very interesting ears if you take a look at the photo itself. So it has like a split in here. So you have I'm not sure about the dogs because I haven't do, to be truthful, I didn't do too many pictures of the dogs themselves, or most of the time their ears have been just protruding. Oh, so here it is. Yeah, Kelly. Your dog
No,
is black.
he doesn't
Afterwards.
have it. It's just straight down.
I just
No.
straight
Yeah,
out.
he just goes straight down. Oh, he's got a little,
Ah.
yeah. You can feel it, but you can't see it.
This is amazing. So then the cat here. So here it is. Because I don't remember that particular part of the dogs that I've been drawing as well. So, but in any case, so cats most of the time they do have really good control of their ears because the dogs do rely a little bit much more on the sense of smell, while the cats do rely on the eye vision as well, and then also hearing. Their hearing is much more acute than the dogs. So which means that they have really interesting ears. And then you can see it from the photo as well. So we have like a split of his ears over here. And it's a really good idea to just go into details. And then again, the photo itself already just have the light, right lighting in there, lighting, sorry, in there. So we have that split over here. Hopefully you know what I mean. Just take a look at the photo again and you can see it right away. At the bottom of his ear, he has like part of his ear, and then after there is another part of his ear. Well, the cats have really interesting ears. And that's the beauty of being an artist, because you're just studying it all. Just noticing all of those differences between cats and dogs, between obviously humans and cats as well. I'm just wondering, why is it so? Why do you have such interesting ears? And we don't have that such an interesting ears in there. So here it is basically. Again, on the photo, I think it looks a little bit too white. I will send you a little bit later the actual photo of the image that I have in here. And you will see that it's not that much of a contrast in there. All right, in any case, let's just carry on. And then obviously the bottom of his ears will not reflect that much of a light. However, you will still have that fur on over here. And we will still have a little bit of a line of an outline at the top of his ear. I mean, the top that is for us. And then afterwards, we'll have some fur. Just softening those lines because we'll have even short, but we'll still have some fur. So one more time, generally speaking, once we have any type of a line on furry animals or furry creatures, so it could be even man for that matter. Yeah, because some men are very furry as well. So generally speaking, so once we have an outline of anything at all, then after just make sure that you soften that line, just adding some strokes of a fur, of some hairs. Same goes on, for instance, once we draw some mustaches as well on men, or their everyday, what is the word in there? Щетина. Who can help me out with that word? Katya, do you remember the translation? So when men don't shave for 3 days or 5 days or something like that, they have
stubble, or like a what's it called, the 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh, that's an interesting expression. I didn't even know that, but so you know what I'm talking about in any case.
Yeah.
So most likely it's going to be just a little bit of the hair in here, yeah? Poor Konstantin, he's talking to us. Okay, so
Yeah,
but
yeah.
anyway, you can imagine that we have the outline, and then most likely it's going to be softened by that fur that grows in there, or that those hairs that grow in there. All right. So generally speaking, everything on the cat, because it's a furry animal, will look like that. So make sure that you soften all of your lines, basically, except for the eyes, obviously. All right, so here it is, just add a couple of strokes, and then you do exactly the same thing for the other ear as well. Now, the other ear, we'll not see too much of it. Basically, we'll see just that top part of it. And after that, exactly the same thing that you see on the picture itself, on the photo itself. You see the fur going to this, going from that line over there, growing from that line. Sort of like that. Okay? So far, so good? Can I see your pictures, please? Kelly, you go ahead. You're always the first. All right, that's good. Yes, and I can see that split of the ear as well. Well done. Not bad. So see, Emma put the love sign in there. Thank you so much. All right, Emma, Katya, Konstantin. Oh, Konstantin. Oh, that is good. Well done. Really, really well done. So just put a little bit more fur to that side over here, and then it will look more natural, because obviously the cats do have, no matter again what kind of breed we talk about, they will have long fur coming from their ears. And then the longer the fur of the cat, the longer that fur in the ear itself. Surprisingly,
Okay,
but generally
yeah.
speaking, they do have longer. And another thing, so this is where the cat differs. So sometimes they have really long fur at the top of their ears as well. That's better. Hold on. Just put a little bit more fur over here, just for that part. Katya, Emma, can I see your pictures as well? Okay, that's really good.
It's actually, decided to experiment a bit because I don't like my pencil. And I took a crayon to make
that's really funny.
whiter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't like that even with crayon, I can't, especially with crayon, I can't make such a, thin strokes. It's a bit kind of messy, blurry. But yeah, just for now, I think maybe my pencil is really soft. I don't know.
Yeah, generally speaking, crayon pencils are much softer, and they it's really hard to sharpen them actually, so that they have thin lines over there. On the other hand, you do have a big picture in any case, so you're not drawing on just A4 or A5 for that matter. Yes, so that's totally fine. Have longer strokes, have wider strokes as well. So then don't put too many strokes, just make sure that you're being precise.
Yep.
If you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine. So for instance, at the moment, I'm drawing with the white pencil, but generally speaking, for a lot of my pictures, for the black cats, I actually used not white, but gray pencils as well. And then just white pencil just for the eyes, just to emphasize a couple of reflections obviously coming from the eyes. So that's totally fine as well. Don't you worry, we just go with whatever we have. And just enjoying our life as it is. So, but yeah, what I was going to say, so at the top of here are the ears. So this is where the cats do usually have differences. A lot of cats, especially those ones with long fur, and especially for some reason females, they do have really long, almost like the squirrels have. They have like really long brushes at the top of their ears, so really long fur at the top of their ears. So if you're going to draw a cat like that, so feel free to add more hairs over here at the top of his ears. So that's totally fine. Again, feel free to change. Obviously, we're using my cat's really just as a reference, so feel free to change him to whatever you want to. It still has to resemble the cat, please, but otherwise you're fine. Don't draw a dragon, please, all of a sudden. We can talk about dragons a little bit later. They do resemble, but that made crocodiles much more than the cats. All right, now let's carry on. Now, what else we will see? Now, if you take a look at the photo of Rishi, I'll just show you what goes on in here. So hopefully you can see it as well. Just a moment. I will zoom in. So what we want to focus on that he has, and then all the cats will as well. So see, there is a reflection of his fur over here. So, and this is something that we need to add to our picture as well. And afterwards, as just a little bit of a fur that will protrude from over here. Now, like I told you before, my cat has short hair, short fur. Now, some ones that do have longer fur, they will have much longer strokes. So generally speaking, instead of those short strokes, you will have longer strokes in there. So sort of like we're trying to resemble whatever cat looks like, yeah? So you will, but in any case, generally speaking, you will have definitely that slightly shorter hair over here, close to his ears. And then afterwards, when it comes to his cheek, this is where it comes to the general hair that they have. So for instance, if you're drawing the cat with the long fur, then over here, closer to the cheek, it will go to long hair. If you have a cat like I do, so with shorter hair, this is where it will have shorter hair. Now, another thing, so very often the cats do have a stripe, probably not black ones, but sometimes even the black ones, they have a little bit more whitish to that side and a little bit more whitish to that side. So we have a stripe from, that's the reason why once women do that eyeliner, it's called the cat's eye. So because this is where the cats usually have at the side of their ears, they have much longer and usually darker stripes over here. So again, so this is something that you can consider. If you do have a stripe, then it's going to be from the corner of his eye over here, and that will go to the bottom and we'll have a darker fur, which means that since we are drawing with the whiter pencil, we'll have just a little bit of a whiter pencil to one side and a little bit to the other side as well. So feel free to change that one. Feel free to just, you have lots and lots of options in there, right? So, but in any case, my point was that you will still have some fur over here, close to his ear. Who's playing the piano in the background?
Callum.
Ah, that's what I can hear. So I just that sometimes the sound comes in, sometimes it gets cut off. So I feel like it's there, but yeah. Say hi to Callum. Send my love to him. All right, so here we are. We do have a little bit of fur and then so on and so forth. And then just add a little bit more to the to its cheek, because we will still have a little bit of fur that we can see over here to his cheek, at the bottom of his cheek. And again, depends what kind of cat you have. It could have longer fur or it could have shorter fur. Another thing that you can see, sorry, come back to me, please. So, because we're going closer to his ears. So, another thing that you will see is obviously that part that will reflect on it. So, it's that part of the cheek that is closer to his nose. That's going to be obviously reflecting a lot of light. Now, again, no matter how much of a how long of a fur your cat has, it will still have short fur over here because it doesn't want to be in the way of the eyes and it doesn't want to be in the way of its nose. So, but in any case, you will still have a reflection of that one. And it's something that we need to add to our image in there. So just a couple of strokes over here, because no matter how dim of the light is, you will still see that part of it, at least a little bit. So coming back to our picture. Oh, sorry. Approximately like that. And I think we'll also see a little bit of the light at the bottom of his ear as well, because usually that's the part that is kind of like a little bit protruding. So most likely you will see a little bit of a fur in here. Now I put a little bit too much. Okay, can I see your picture so far? Okay, that's nice. Well done. Good job. Who wants to be next? Konstantin, can I see yours, please?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. Well done, well done, well done.
Yeah, I must say sorry because my pencil more close to chalk, not in Russian mel, not to pencil. Indeed, it's hard to do the precise some kind of work.
But don't you worry, like I told you, yeah, we all have different pencils, and surprisingly, even with the same pencils, it works just differently on any type of paper. And like I told you in email, it doesn't even have to be the paper. So for instance, that video that I sent you of the cat that I have done, so a very short one, I have done that one. I had a cardboard from, I think from the fridge or something like that. And then afterwards, I just coated that with the paint that is actually for the furniture. So, and I coated that one with furniture paint. And then afterwards, I started using, I think, just normal pencils. And obviously, they haven't been drawing as well as on the paper. So it all depends.
Okay.
Don't you worry. So just see what it goes, and then just afterwards, just adjust whatever you have at the moment, because obviously it could change.
Yeah.
Konstantin, you just need to add a little bit more strokes to that side over here of the cat. Oh, that's really nice. Well done. That looks really nice. Good job. Well done. I really love the
Thank you so much.
No, that's good. That's good. Well done. Well done. Katya, Emma, can I see yours, please? Emma, you go first.
Yeah, mine's chalky as well, which is why I'm really struggling with the opacity on it.
Oh, no, don't you worry. It looks really nice, actually. So just, yeah, it needs to have a little bit more pointy ears at the, over here.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, just slightly pointy, because yours are too round, especially if you compare that one to the other ear that you have, because the other ear has that pointy point to it, and then that one is a little bit too round. Okay, just add a little bit more with strokes towards it, so it will have a little bit more of a fur to it. Oh, that looks really nice. Yeah, here it is. Well done, well done, well done. Katya, can I see yours, please? Oh, that's really cute. And you have decided to go with the line as well.
Yeah, I tried, but it not seems to look natural, you know, how it looks in your case.
Well, I don't have that line as well. So take a look. The reason why it doesn't look that natural is just because, so for instance, if I want to draw the line, oh, sorry, just a moment. So now, first of all, in a way, you're just sort of like drawing from the corner of his eye. That's exactly why we have the eyeliners once we do the makeup, and it's called the cat eye. Yeah. So it goes exactly from the corner, that black line that we have, or the blackish one, and in any case, the darker line. So it will go to the corner and will go close to, and will go sort of like down. It depends on the cat, obviously, as well. So, but it will in any case start from the corner. So which means that if we are drawing those whiter fur in here, so it will go slightly to that side and it will go slightly to that side. You just want a little bit too much of the line that goes right away down in there. So, and it doesn't go exactly from the corner. So can I take a look at your picture one more time? So see, yours just started. So yeah, first of all, for instance, I do like the board, the left side of it. Yeah, the left. I think it is still the left, yeah. So, but the right side of it just needs to be a little bit more. Yeah, first of all, a little bit closer to the left, because it starts from like the middle of his eye instead of closer to the edge of his eye in there. And then another thing is just soften, and it will become more natural. So instead of having like really the outline like I have over here,
Yeah.
so just soften it, and you'll become more natural.
Okay,
So see,
we'll try. Yeah.
it still looks all right. Don't you worry. All right, my dears, so let's go to the eyes, yeah? Because the rest of it you can sort of like sort out, and then it will still be fine. All right, now the eye. So what goes on in here? Now I would advise you first of all to draw his eyelashes, his like everything of the eye except for the eyeball itself. First of all, just put everything in there, and then afterwards we'll focus on the eyeball itself. So making sure that we do have the outlines of the eye in there. Emma has already done that one in any case, and looks absolutely fine. My dears, so take a look over here. If you just a moment, I'll try to zoom in. So if you take a look at Rishi's picture over here, so he will have that white outline in here. Hopefully you can see it now. And by the way, most of the cats will have like a dark outline straight afterwards. So that's the reason why they do have those beautiful eyes, most of them, yes. So, and then they have like the outline most of the time as well. So most likely, also, what do we do with white pencils? We just draw that line in here, close to his eyeball in there. And then afterwards, we just draw definitely a little bit of a whitish in here. So making sure that we have that darker line left in between. All right. Now, come back to me as well. one more time. So, and then on the corner, most likely it's going to be white. Again, no matter what color we'll have of the cat, even if it's entirely black, it will still reflect a lot of light just at the corner, because there's going to be a lot of like really, really short fur in there. And then no matter what kind of light we have, it will, even if it's a really dim light, it will still reflect a lot of the light in here. So, however, once it goes to the bottom, since we are not going to see a lot of light in there, so we'll have that light on the eyeball, but we'll not have a lot of light over here. So which means that just keep that line, because we'll come back to it a little bit later. However, so this is where that cheek comes in, and then we'll have that, hopefully you can still see it. We will have that line of cheek in there, so starting. You know what I mean? So again, just analyze every time when you see the picture, and no matter what kind of idea you just need to search for certain references in there and just analyze those references that you have. Feel free to change a couple of things, but just make sure that you still follow the anatomy of whatever animal you're drawing, or the actual physics of whatever it is that you're drawing in there. Yeah. All right. Okay, just continue to walk on that eye, and I will do the same. Hopefully you're not in a rush to go anywhere else. We'll just finish the eye, and then I will let you go, I promise. Okay, do you want to show me what's going on? Oh, Kelly, well done. You already put the highlight in there. Well done. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Emma, you go next. Wow, and you have already started again on the well done, my love. That was good. Well done. So, Katya, Konstantin. Oh, Katya, that's really nice as well. Well done, good job. And I really love that you put a little bit of a light over there as well. Well done, not bad at all. So just make sure that it doesn't go to the eyeball itself, close to the eyeball, because we'll not have that outline in there. Oh, by the way, I did talk to you about having that dark outline, and I haven't done that one myself. Okay, Konstantin, can I take a look at your photo? At your picture, sorry. Oh, that's nice as well. Good job, well done. Just, my love, sort of a little bit of an outline over here that you have, because in your case, it's a little bit too, like it's catching too much of a light in there.
Yeah. I just tried to fix it.
Okay,
Working
then
on
it's all good. I'm so proud of you, because you, even once you're making not doing mistakes, but tiny inaccuracies in there, so you were just correcting yourself, and you realize, oh, okay, there's something that I need to correct. Well done. I actually put a lot of thought into our module that we have created in there. So yeah, like learn, practice, because you need to learn something, then you need to practice the right habits and make sure that you have those right habits. And then afterwards, you just observe whatever it is there in the real nature, and then only afterwards you draw. Yeah. So learn, practice, observe, draw. That's always the case. All right, that's all good. All right, so far so good. Now let's go to his eyes. Now, the eyes of the cat are very, very interesting. Now, in my case, I took the photo during the daylight, as you can see. And then obviously the cats, they have those really, really thin eyes over there once they're looking at the light themselves. Now, in any case, in our case, he does look up towards the light, but depending how much of the light it will have, it will, and especially, and actually it doesn't really matter what kind of light they have. So for instance, if you're catching the cat exactly on the moment when he is about to bounce on his prey, so for instance, let's just imagine he is looking at a mice or just a toy up above, and then he's just about to make that jump to catch that prey. So on that particular moment, his eyelids just go much wider. So again, it all just depends on what kind of moment we're talking about. So if we talk about that he is just there to observe whatever's going on above, like in my case, it was there on the water. So then he will have that almost like that very thin eyelid in there. So on the other hand, again, feel free to change that one. It doesn't have to be that thin eyelid in there. Iris in there, yeah. So feel free to change that one to a much wider one. Depends, whatever you have in mind. So for instance, I think I will go with the same one or closer to it. I will make it a little bit wider. Now, first of all, in my case, you can see that there is a reflection of actually in his eyes of, because it's obviously it's a really reflective eyeball in there. So like a sphere that is very reflective of the sun. So I have the entire reflection of the window actually in his eyes. So, and yeah, why not? I will go with the same reflection in there. Or sort of similar to it. But feel free to change a couple of things. So that highlight doesn't have to be split like in my case. It could be just one bleak that is in there, one highlight, like one sphere that is in there. It doesn't have to be split with that narrow line that we have. All right, and then it comes to that iris that we have, yeah? So it is definitely looking up. And in my case, I'm thinking about making it a little bit wider than it really is on the picture. So I'm going like that. And then afterwards, you just go in all the time. It is exactly the same case when it comes to the human eye as well. So in the eyelid itself, straight from the iris, we do have lines going towards like the edges of that circle, and makes it right away much more natural. So just use the strokes coming from the center, from that line that we have drawn of the eyelid, and then going to the sides. So see? It should automatically go look very natural. And then most likely, so do you remember we just left that part of the eyelid over here black, yeah? So this is where we just draw a little bit of the light on the eyeball itself. Okay, hopefully you can see it. I'll just try to zoom in. All good? Can I see your eyes, please? I mean, not your eyes, but your cat's eyes. Okay, that's amazing. Well done. It really is looking up. Well done. Good job. It was at last. That's good. Hi, Emma. Let's go with yours. Just if you don't mind, a little bit closer to the camera because I really want to see the.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. That's good as well. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Konstantin?
Sorry, but my my pencil made some mistake and I tried to erase it. So some not the good result.
Okay, then a little bit later, yeah. Like Katya?
Yeah, a little bit later. Well, just need a few minutes.
Okay, to correct it all. That's all right. Katya? Please. Wow, well done. It looks so good. Well done. Wow. So that's the reason why very often I've been asked that question again, because at the moment I'm uploading sometimes those, time lapses that I have of the pictures that I'm doing. And then most of the time, because that is such a treat for me, I'm leaving the eyes actually for the last. Because the eyes are obviously the mirror of your soul. And no matter whether we draw animals, whether we draw obviously people as well. So I don't know, I just really love to draw eyes, to be truthful. And then that's the best part of the drawing, and I always leave that one for the last because then I have definitely something to look forward to. And that's the reason why we spend we focus on the eyes afterwards. Hi, Konstantin, can I see yours, please? Hopefully you have corrected it by now.
That's not good, but indeed,
That's all right. So
because
can you move it a little bit closer to the picture, to the camera, so that I can see what goes on in there?
I have some troubles with my, the pencil because it's hard
That's all right,
to
sorry,
erase.
don't worry, don't worry. It actually looks nice. So you just need to add a little bit more of a highlight, a little bit more of a pencil from the iris towards the end of here, so you can see it. All right, then it's all good. Don't you worry. All right, and hopefully you can see that on the picture itself. So we have a really good outline over here of the eye itself. So this is where the fur starts as well. And then just usually at the bottom of it, you can see sort of like, how would you put, a much softer outline at the very, very edge in here. And this is where I would like you to do a little bit of an outline. And then same as we've been doing with the iris, only just do the opposite. So from that outline, you do have still strokes going towards the iris. So hopefully you can see it on my picture as well. So this is where it is. Yeah, you can see it. Just a little bit of an outline. It's still going to be a little bit softer. And then afterwards, you just add a couple of strokes going towards the iris. This way, you're sort of like emphasizing all of that contrast that you have otherwise in the picture itself. Okay, so far so good? All right, and the very last thing that is left that is very essential for the cat is the whiskers. So this is where you feel free to don't follow the picture itself, so you can change a couple of things in there, but generally speaking, and by the way, this is where it's a really good idea because whiskers are usually quite thin. If you do use a lot of pencil and all of a sudden it doesn't have no longer, like in my case, that sharp point, take a sharpener and make sure that it's much sharper because you really want your whiskers to be thin lines. So sharpen your pencils. And once you're ready, It's a good idea to start practicing actually not from the whiskers themselves, but from those ones that grow from the eyebrows, just above the eyes. So again, just make sure that you have those strokes not from coming from above towards the eye, but from the eye going outwards. So just above the eye, you have those whiskers going up. Again, use those ones that you have on the photo as the outline. Feel free to add more of them. I think there is, I don't know how many he has, the cats usually have, but it's more than a few, definitely, in any case. And then you will see some of those. I don't know, are they still called whiskers, or do they have different names? Guillermo, what do you think?
I call bullets eyebrows, but you know,
Bullets
he's got eyelashes and eyebrows, so
So good.
I have no idea.
And what about you?
I would call them both whiskers, but I'm now going to call them eyebrows forever.
Yeah, because I have.
Don't listen to me. I'm definitely no expert.
No, you're a good influence, Kelly. That's great. I'm using it forever.
Oh shit.
All right, but in any case, we know what we are talking about. So let's just call them whiskers eyebrows. I don't know. So I'm so sorry because I'm really terrible when it comes to biology, for that matter, and zoology. Even in my native language, I'm not sure what they're called. Katya, do you know the word? Kostya.
No, never came across.
So see,
I think it was always, I think it was, I called it lashes if I had a chance to talk about it. I think lashes, but I'm not too sure if it's right.
Maybe, I don't know. So see, I don't know. All right, in any case, let's go ahead. So let's call them almost like eyebrows, because this is where our eyebrows usually are. Yeah, so let's call them eyebrows, I guess. Yeah, because sometimes some of the cats, they do have sort of like eyelashes over here, and then they don't look, I don't know, so maybe they're like eyelashes.
Yeah, they have lashes and they are really short and like, yeah, you're right.
I don't know. So okay, so in any case, so here it is. Now, once you practice those ones, it's a really good idea to start drawing the actual whiskers that we have. Now, this is where you take a look at your eyelid, iris as well, because take a look. Once, if the cat is about to bounce on the prey, so, and it will have those really wide irises on there. No matter what kind of light it has, it will still have wide, really wide irises because it's just about to pounce on the prey. Now, in that particular case, his whiskers will go up towards the prey as well, because the cats, and generally speaking, they are blind when it comes to, for instance, we have a much narrower focus than the cats do. So they are basically blind when it comes to anything that is like closer to 20 centimeters to them. So if it's closer to 20 centimeters towards their face, they can't see it. And this is where their whiskers come in, because they can feel the prey with their whiskers. So they have sort of like we just protrude our fingers and we try to feel the prey. We try to feel whatever's in front of us if we don't, if we can't see it. So that's the same thing that goes on with their whiskers. So if your irises are very wide, I didn't see it in any of your pictures, but just in case, something that you have to be aware of, then the whiskers will go towards the prey as well. All right. So for instance, in my case, so see, my cat, he's not about to pounce towards the prey, but you can see that his whiskers are sort of like to that side horizontally, and they go upwards as well. So if he was just about to pounce on the prey, then they will go towards the prey itself. So in our case, it will go up. So something to consider, but here it is. So in my case, I will just follow the picture that we have. So some of the whiskers will go up.
Google says they're called whiskers, FYI.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Even on the even over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you. Now I will know. How do you differentiate in that particular case between whiskers on the cheeks and whiskers on the...
No, they said there is no difference because they're both the sensory thing, which I mean, Bullet has them too, but they're the sensory thing. How they
Yes, the dogs, they
touch
do
and
have them.
feel and yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how close things are to them.
Yeah, generally speaking, yeah, cats do have longer whiskers than dogs do because dogs can see, they have, what is it? They can see much more. The cats generally, they are blind when it comes to any distance like 20 centimeters just in front of their face. So, well, the dogs can't see anything that is like 20 centimeters before their face. Now we can focus much more our eyes towards like whatever is just in front of us. So that's the reason why we don't have whiskers. And besides, we don't have to jump on the prey as well. So, but yeah, here it is. Any dogs, for that matter, they have a wonderful sense of smell, and like cats do. So, and that's the reason why they don't rely that much on the whiskers themselves. And that's the reason why dogs, generally speaking, they do have much smaller whiskers themselves. See, that's the beauty of being an artist, because this is where you have to study a lot as well. So something like that, yeah. Okay, can I see your pictures? Okay, well done. Well done. That looks really nice. Konstantin, well done. Good job. Emma?
I just need to fix. I haven't done the whiskers because I still need to fix the edges. So it's still I'm gonna take that satisfying moment after I tidy it up because I don't want to. It's so smudgy. You can't really tell, but it's super smudgy around the edges.
Looks cool.
It still looks really, really nice. I actually really like it. And I think that is the case for you in general. So I think you're really a bit too hard on yourself. Generally speaking.
It's hard when everybody's doing really good stuff and I want to do good too.
You're doing good too, Emma.
Yes, you're wonderful.
I love it.
Well done, Emma. Katya, can I see yours, please? Oh, that's nice as well. You just need whiskers here. Oh, the whiskers is really good.
It's already there. You just can't see it probably because of the pencil, and they can't make it looks brighter.
Then put a little bit more pressure into the pencil, especially once
No,
it goes.
not working. It like crayon starts to crash and just yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not doing the
Yeah, I
job.
think I have the same problem, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a bit hard to erase
so take a
because
look. All right, I see what you're talking about. So basically it just crumbles as soon as you start to draw, as soon as you start to apply pressure. So take a look. And that particular case, just go with, I'll show you what in just a moment. I think one day I had the same idea. So go much softer than in that particular case. You draw one line, the knob should just be very, very soft. And at the same time, you just thicken that line, especially when it comes to that. So still using those soft strokes, but you just sort of like building the line and making it thicker. It should work. So just make sure that in that particular case, you don't apply too much pressure because otherwise, yeah, the pencil would just crumble. Does it work? Katya? You have tested it.
I don't know. It's still not getting wider. It's getting wider, but not wider. You know?
Okay.
Not wide.
So yeah, generally speaking, yeah, just have those soft strokes and then just sort of like try to build up that volume, especially when it comes to the end of it. And then afterwards, just sort of like softening that volume going to the side. So I'm using only soft strokes at the moment as well. So see, I can build up and make that thicker line in there. So build up that line and then it will be all right. So I know that in that particular case, you will spend lots and lots of time on those whiskers, but
it's not working.
it's not working, are you sure?
Absolutely.
Even soft lines.
Even soft. Maybe it's paper and pencil all together, but no. I will maybe look for another one white pencil tomorrow in the shop and try to fix this. Okay. Yeah,
that could work as well. So yeah, that's the reason why I told you once you're buying the paper and once you're buying the pencil, just make sure you try it on the paper that you're buying.
I thought it's okay, you know, but when I see how white it is in your case and compared to mine, I clearly understand it's not really.
Actually, you know what, Katya, like I told you before, so at the moment, I'm looking at the picture that I'm sending to all of you over here, I mean, on the screen. And it actually looks much whiter than my real one.
Oh, maybe, you know. Maybe it's
so who knows? Mine is actually a little bit darker than the one that I have. I think once I put actually my hands in there, it becomes a little bit more. Yeah, that's more natural color of it. So if I put my hands in there, if I take away my hands, so see it becomes lighter.
Yeah, that's more some white, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, mine actually doesn't look as white as the one that I will take a little bit later the picture and then I will send it to you. All right, my dears, in any case, so feel free to change a couple of things. Feel free to just work on some details in there. So for instance, going on those whiskers, make sure that they're visible in there. All right, because generally speaking, we do have much thicker whiskers than when it comes to where they start, and then afterwards they become narrower. And then just add a couple of more details. You have that reference, that photo is a reference in there, so feel free to borrow some details from it, and then after send me your picture. Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you so much. So sorry for holding you for 2 hours, but hopefully you had fun.
That was so much fun.
That was heaps of fun.
Oh, that's good. And your cats look so nice.
That was very great. Very useful.
I did not even notice it's 9:30 already.
Neither.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, the time flies by once we're drawing. So that's the beauty of it. And then afterwards, once you feel like it's finished, yeah, that's the best part of the drawing, signing your picture. All right. So because that one is like putting the, at least for me, that one feels like every time when I put signature, like at the bottom of my picture, it feels like I'm putting the dot in there, like a full stop at the very end of my essay, my art project. Here it is, finished. Very often, actually, I do look at it the other day, and then afterwards I correct a couple of things, but most of the time, yes, it is what it is. All right. Thank you so much. So send me your pictures afterwards. Kelly, congratulations one more time. You were the first one to finish the whole course. Well done. Emma, I'm waiting for you. Konstantin, I'm waiting for you. Katya, you still have a few more pictures, but hopefully. All right. Thank you so much, my dears. All the very best. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to you, Katerina. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All for you. Okay.